we both do it? I thought it said Jeff Bezos.
Nope.
Score him up. I'm like, yeah, no, you're so right. Bitch. Maynard. What about my name's Tom. Witchcraft. Alright.
What's up, guys? My name's Tom.
I am also Tom.
And we're happy to be back. Sorry we missed you last week. We were out celebrating the holidays with our families.
A little holiday hiatus, if you will.
Ooh, hashtag that shit. Holiday hiatus. So, this video is coming out on the last day of 2021. So we think it's just fitting to do a little bit of reflection, see how our first year in real estate went.
It's time to reflect.
Mm-hmm.
Because how do you grow if you don't see where you came from?
That's true. If you don't know where you've been, you'll never know where you're going. Cool. So, Tom, tell us a little bit about your first year in real estate. What are some things that you were expecting? What are some things that happened that you maybe weren't expecting? And overall, like, what are your thoughts on the year and how happy are you with how everything has gone?
Yeah, so first off, going into my first year of real estate, I had done a lot of research, as we talked about in this other video, put right there. Talked a lot about how I researched. I wanted to know what to expect. And what to expect was all over the spectrum. So from people saying they didn't sell a single house in their first year, to those who said, you know, they made over 6 figures their first year. And so having such a wide spread scared me a little bit because how do you really know where you're going to fall? My goal, of course, was on the higher end. So I wanted to make 6 figures in my first year of real estate, and I wanted to be sure that I put in the effort and the work to get there. And so something that I knew that I took a lot of the right first steps. So joining the Move Me to Texas team was the biggest first step for me, and just like hustling with that. So, you know, everything that they're giving to us in the training and the knowledge and putting it into practice and just working away. You know, when a real estate agent calls themselves a real estate agent, but they don't really work, they're not going to see the results, but they want to see the results. So my expectations for myself were really high because I knew that I didn't want to be someone who didn't sell anything or only sold one house in the first year, which I understand it can be really hard, but I know that the team aspect really helped me get to where I need to be. So if you're looking at starting in real estate in the next year, absolutely look to join a team. Best advice I can give. Best thing to do as a new agent, best thing to do as an agent who is alone. You should either be on a team, starting a team, or a team lead.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. My expectations are much different. I was coming from a strange place in time for myself, so I didn't really expect much other than to make some money and survive. And ultimately that was my goal. I really didn't have a vision or an end goal or something tangible to look at or to base it off of, because I had nothing to base it off of. Really, me getting into real estate was kind of a blind leap of faith. And I was very fortunate enough to have found the Move Me to Texas team. I didn't do any of the research that this Tom did. So I was just right place at the right time. And you know what? I'll take being lucky over being good any day of the week. Because even a broken clock is right twice a day. All right? So my goals were, I'd be happy. I was happy to sell like 5 homes. I didn't know commission splits. I didn't know any of that. I just wanted something to work. Mm-hmm. And, my thought was like, all right, I'll give it a year and see what happens, or give it 6 months and see what happens. And, I kind of had a little bit of a nest egg cushion that I could live off of. And if things didn't work out, then, regroup and see where that goes from there.
Which is also extremely important if you're looking to get into real estate. don't think I have $0. This is the exact thing I need to go do.
Yeah, it's not a quick start thing.
No.
From the time I decided to take my real estate courses to the time I got my first commission check was probably 5 months, 5 to 6 months, somewhere in there. Granted, I was still doing other stuff before I went full time, but when it came to being full time, I still went 2.5 months without ever getting paid. So, again, leap of faith. There's definitely a bit of terror that came with that, but ultimately I just had to believe in myself and put my money on me. So at the end of the day, nobody else I can blame but me. And I've realized throughout the year that there's been a lot of outside influence. The team, the Tom Ferry Network, the other agents that I've met, whether that's at the Tom Ferry Summit or within networking events in Houston, that have really just inspired me to really try to take things up a notch. And I've, we talk about it was slow to get started, but once that momentum hits, it really does start to pick up. And,
it does.
And, I can only imagine, I'm so excited for 2022 to see what comes from that, because if you foster your past clients, more things are going to come in the future, and that's all I've heard. So that's what I'm really looking forward to. So yeah, I guess ultimately I didn't have much in the way of expectations. I didn't have a six-figure amount that I was searching for, but I came into it with the idea of if I have no expectations, I'm not going to get disappointed.
So in terms of what your expectations were to what you saw come to fruition in your first year, how do you feel?
I'm ecstatic. I couldn't be happier. I mean, obviously, like, everybody could say, like, oh, I'd love to have more money, but and don't count me out of that group. I would love to have made more money, but for my first year of real estate, not knowing what to expect, not knowing anything, not doing any research, coming into it, learning as I go, growing as I go, I'm super happy with how it's turned out.
Yeah.
I've like I said, I've only grown more motivated and confident in my abilities to do this as a profession. So yeah, I mean, I'm really happy with how it's going and just really excited for what's to come. What about for you?
Yeah, no, for me, one thing especially that I was nervous about was that I had started a position and I was in like a corporate job working, 8 to 5 every day, and there's security there, right? So there's the security of you're going to get paid every week without fail. You're good. And so then switching to real estate, I was nervous. I was like, what if I'm not able to, cover the bills? What if I'm not able to, those sorts of things, right? So I was nervous, like you said, taking a leap of faith. I saved up a lot so that I could have that cushion and I could feel like comfortable enough to really go. And that was something I was really blessed to be able to do. But, shooting for that 6-figure goal for myself this year, it was something that, as Tom, we always say, if you shoot for the moon and you don't make it, you're still going to land in the stars. If you set a really high goal and you fail miserably, it's still going to be so much better than if you set yourself up for a lower goal.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, moving from the position I was in prior to this year, I doubled my salary.
Yeah. I can say the same.
Which is
just about
insane to me. And it's something that I didn't expect. It's what I wanted. Yeah. And I definitely wanted that to happen, but I was nervous and kind of second guessing myself, right? But like having encouragers around me, having great teammates around me, having great mentors and coaches, all of that, I really felt like, you know what, I can do this and I'm going to get it done. And so even though I did not hit that 6-figure amount in my first year that I really wanted to hit, I doubled what I brought home from one year to the next. And that's massive.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I can say the same. And not only, that dollar amount's great, but I had a lot of fun doing it.
So much fun.
I met a lot of cool people, had a lot of really cool experiences, whether it's doing video shoots for different businesses in the community, or going to happy hours, or team building exercises. So much cool stuff has gone into this that I would never have expected, and I didn't expect real estate being this great. Working for yourself, even on a team, you're still ultimately working for yourself. Right. You have to be the one motivated to get up out of bed in the morning. Where when I was working my previous jobs, it's like, all right, I have to be there. Boss is going to be pissed if I'm not.
Right.
And then I don't have a job. So.
Yeah, it's you motivating yourself a lot of the times, for sure. And going along with that of, getting to do those neighborhood spotlights and really learning more about the community, I did not expect how much more I would learn about Houston and the suburbs as just like a place. And what everything that it offers, and all, the market knowledge, of course, but also just like the little nooks and crannies that maybe you had never really even driven to before. And so getting to see all of that in a new light and just like really get a huge understanding of Houston was a huge thing for me. I absolutely loved learning about so many new gyms.
Yeah, and especially for someone coming from living outside of Houston.
Yeah.
But even for me, growing up in Houston, I still learned quite a bit. There's a lot of little pockets that I didn't spend a lot of time in that I've now explored a lot more, and I feel much more well-rounded when it comes to my knowledge of the market.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in that, there's the real estate growth that we've definitely gone through in the last year. But I can't speak for you, but I know personally it's bled so much into my own personal life.
Definitely.
With this whole self-employed, self-starter type mantra that's constantly going on, and having these good people in our corner to motivate us to do better and to want to do better and to strive for more constantly in our business, it's definitely bled into my own personal life. And I've noticed a much more positive shift between now and a year ago in my life, and I think the people around me could say that.
Yeah, I could definitely say the same for myself. Totally agree. All right.
So that has been a brief look back at the last 12 months for us in our first year of real estate. We are so excited for the past year and what is to come for 2022. It's going to be a great year. I know you're watching this as it's coming out, as you should. So have a safe New Year's Eve tonight, and we'll see you next year.